Well, hello, eighth graders. It's great to see you, and welcome to my living room again for the continuing story of World War I. And I am holding in my arms, this is Maple Ginger, and she's very curious. She's been roaming around because anytime I pay attention to anything that is not her, she gets all jealous. So anyway, I thought I would just show you if you see some tails or her body walking by. But anyway, so we're continuing with the story of World War I. And you have already studied the story of Archduke Ferdinand and his assassination in Sarajevo, Bosnia. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to continue on with that story and see how World War I actually started. And we have to say that that is going to be a huge event. And I guess we can make, think about a situation that might be comparable. And that would be, say, the Vice President of the United States was assassinated by the Russians on July 4th. So obviously there's going to be some discussion after that. And so what Austria-Hungary did was they issued an ultimatum to Serbia with demands that had to be met in 48 hours. And the Serbs took a look at that and they agreed with all the demands but one. And that demand was that the trial happen in Austria-Hungary, in Vienna, and not in Serbia. And they said that that would not be a fair trial. They could not comply with that. And so, as a result, as you can well imagine, Austria-Hungary began shelling Serbia. They declared war on Serbia. Now, something I don't think we've really talked about too much is Serbia had historically been a friend of Russia. And why? One of the main attachments was their common Eastern Orthodox religion. So at this point, Russia began to mobilize its million-man armies. And the head of Russia, at this point, as you probably know, is Tsar Nicholas II. And Tsar Nicholas II is the cousin of Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany. And when this starts happening, as bold and brash as Kaiser Wilhelm II is, he realizes this is going to be a massive problem. So he telegrams his cousin Nicholas, and he says, Nicky, do not mobilize. Let's work this out. But Nicholas was a weak ruler. His generals were pretty much in charge, and they refused to stop the mobilization. So at that point, what we have is Russia declares war on Serbia. Russia declared war on Austria-Hungary in defense of Serbia. And then Germany declared war on Russia on August 1st, 1914. They really didn't have a choice at that point. And then they realized that by doing this, they're going to have problems with France because France is a part of this Britain, France, Russia alliance. So then they declared war on France. And at this point, you have the mobilization of massive armies, and it was game on. Now, the question you might ask is, what happened to Britain? How did Britain get involved? Well, Germany, and we've talked about this, had a war plan. They had this war plan for about 20 years, and the other countries had their war plans as well. The German war plan was called the Schlieffen Plan, and the purpose of the Schlieffen Plan was to take France in 6 weeks, take it very quickly, because they knew they could not fight a two-front war with their population versus the populations of France and Russia. So they mobilized and began to carry out this Schlieffen Plan. Now, we're going to spend all of next time on the Schlieffen Plan, and you'll find out if it worked or it didn't work. But the plan was to roll through neutral Belgium here, because the French had what they called the Maginot Line here, which was a series of forts. So they rolled through neutral Belgium, and they were going to wrap around south of Paris and take it very quickly. Well, we've talked about alliances, and Britain had an alliance with Belgium, which said that if Belgium should be attacked, they would come to support her. So almost very quickly, Britain was involved and began sending masses of troops across the English Channel to help with France's war effort there. So that's going to be the beginning of the war. So gloves are off, and we are going to see million-man battles, which is sad because, as you know, with the weapons innovations, it meant massive death. Now, what I'd like to do is to go back to our poem, which we've been working on, and let's just go to the point where we are in the story. Otto von Bismarck unified Germany in 1871. France and Russia, sensing an arms race, refused to be outdone. They formed a box around the Kaiser. The friction started to build. Then Britain was threatened by Germany's navy, and all refused to yield. Then the explosion happened in a place we'd call an outlier. Sarajevo, Bosnia, in Balkan land was where the spark became a fire. Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian terrorist from the group called the Black Hand, assassinated Archduke Ferdinand, the heir to Austria-Hungary land. Austria-Hungary told Serbia big demands must be met in 2 days. Serbia said yes to all but one, so World War I was on the way. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Now things were looking bad. Russia mobilized to defend friend Serbia. Tsar Nicholas's generals were really mad. Germany declared war on Russia August 1st, 1914. 2 days later, they declared war on France. This war would not be short term. Okay, so that's the story. Now, I've included a video for you on this assignment, and it's the entire war, but go ahead and you can watch the first 5 minutes and you'll get excellent maps that'll kind of make this more visual for you. And also, I would like to have you copy your notes. So go ahead and do that, and we will continue on. So enjoy the story, and I just really appreciate all the good work you're sending in.